Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 26 of our back to school month. Our 30 favorite albums of our high school years. That's right. We're going back in time to when the last 4 years we were in school, especially here in the States, right here in North America. 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. The really, really important bunch of years where we were just soaking up music like crazy. And the 30 albums, 30 Days of September, the 30 albums that we listened to the most, that we loved the most back in those school years. So, of course, my 4 years of school, high school, was 1980, 1984. A lot of great stuff I was listening to back then, much of which I still listen to a lot today, still enjoy today, still love today, including this one, which came out September 19th, 1981, on the RCA Records label here in the States, produced by the band. Many would consider this their classic album, Triumph, Allied Forces. Got the flying V on the front and on the back, right? Flying V that also kind of serves as a sword, right? Got the sword in the middle of the V. Interestingly enough, Rick Emmett did play a V on occasion, but was not one of his guitars of choice all that often, so kind of strange, but it kind of, works here. Totally works here. Of course, Rick Emmett on guitars and vocals, Gilmore on drums and vocals, and Mike Levine on bass and keyboards. Just a classic album, chock full of anthems. I remember the first time I heard Magic Power on the radio. I was sold. And I had already been into the band. This is one of those instances where you like what you hear from the band on the radio. Lay It on the Line was a big hit. Hold On, right? These are songs that were played locally here in the Hudson Valley on our local FM rock station. And I remember always hearing these songs and always really, really liking them. But I never actually went out and bought any Triumph albums at that point. It wasn't until this album came out that I said, all right, I'm going to get that. And then I'm going to go scoop up the other ones. And that's exactly what I did. I went out and bought Allied Forces. Then I bought their first album. I bought, all the albums that came before, Progressions of Power, whatnot, Just a Game. I went and scooped them all up after I got this, because this really made me a Triumph fan. And then I went and, like I said, went backwards and went forwards. And I've always been a fan of these guys, from Canada, power trio, not really like Rush from the same country, obviously, but very different from Rush. And much, much more of a straight-ahead rock band. And this album is just chock full of great songs. Fool for Your Love is the big, heavy opener to open things up. Another really great thing about this band is you had the two singers, both very distinct from each other. You had Gilmore, who had the more rock and roll-y type voice. He usually sang most of the harder-edged rockin' songs. Then you had Rick Emmett, who had the much higher pitched vocal range. Okay, and he sang a lot of the more melodic stuff. He sang his share of rockers too, but he was much, much better suited to more of those kind of like kind of sing-along, melodic, catchy songs, right? The more pop-flavored hard rock fare that they did. So, as Magic Power, right? His signature vocals on Magic Power, great single from this album. You got instrumental Air Raid. You've got title track Allied Forces, big heavy rocker. I always, to me, Allied Forces is always to this band and this album what like Lights Out was to UFO and that album as well, and both real hard rocking songs. Hot Time in the City Tonight, Fight the Good Fight. Fight the Good Fight might be my favorite Triumph song of all time. Absolutely love Fight the Good Fight. Great guitar work on that. Nice textures, nice melodies, great Rick Emmett vocal. Then you got the stunning Ordinary Man. Very, very underrated song from here. You got Petite Etude, or however you say that, another little Rick Emmett instrumental. And then Say Goodbye. Say Goodbye also was played on the radio here. Locally. Whether it was officially released as a single or not, I don't know, but the local radio station, 101.5 WPDH in Poughkeepsie, New York, did play Say Goodbye quite a bit after Magic Power had kind of already, been the hit that it was, and they were looking for another song to play off this album. So yeah, just one great song after another on here, and classic stuff. Listen to it all the time. And that is my pick for today. So let us know in the comments below what you think of Allied Forces. as well as your pick today for day 26. We've only got a couple days left. I've got my the rest of my picks all sitting here. What I've decided to do, and I've been kind of hinting at this all month. Originally, I said I was not going to pick more than two albums per band on this entire month. Well, I made the decision like a couple days ago that you're only going to get one from each because it just there's not enough days. So at the end of the month, I'll give you some honorable mentions like I usually do. But only one band is going to get represented during the course of this month. So of course I have 1, 2, 3, 4 left, and they have not been heard from me as of yet on this countdown from me. So it's going to have 30 bands, 30 albums on this list. No overlaps, no doubles, no repeats. And then on my honorable mentions, you'll get some of the, the ones that I would have picked if I was going to pick any band, more than once, obviously, plus a couple that didn't quite make it. Because you know what it is? It's tough. It's like I really thought about it. I had a couple other albums that, of course, are very, very special to me. But I think I listened to them a little bit more in those couple of years leading up to high school, and maybe not quite as much in the 4 years I was in my high school years from 80 to 84. So there's probably a few that some of you have been waiting for, and you're like, oh, I'm really surprised Pete didn't mention them yet. And that's because I think that, from like maybe 77 to 79, they got played a ton. And I still played them from 80 to 84, but they weren't like the main focus of what I was really listening to at the time. So those I'll save for the honorable mentions, because there's some really good ones there that, of course, are very, very special to me, and I've continued to listen to and love them over the years. But during this 4-year period, maybe not quite as much. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough to quantify something. 40 years later, it's like, well, how much did I play this versus that, right? So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit that like button before you leave. Very, very important. And also subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as it posts. And visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. We hope to see some of you at Sea of Tranquility Fall Fest in just a couple days in Poughkeepsie, New York, October 1st. We got a full day of music and talk. We've got live on stage. We've got in the Prague seat, the Hudson Valley Squares, myself and Martin Popoff, Chris Caffrey from Trans-Siberian Orchestra and Sabotage, and a Q&A with myself. We've got some last minute change, so Sonus Umbra will not be appearing now. However, we're going to have sort of a variation on that. So we've got Rick Labonte and Eric Porter and Louis Nasser are going to do like a little acoustic trio type of thing, probably playing some covers and maybe a couple Rick Labonte originals. And so that's kicking off the music portion of the evening. Then we've got Andy Powell, guitarist, vocalist, founder of Wishbone Ash, in a Q&A with myself once again, with you guys, the audience. Then we have Epic Tantrum, great prog band from upstate New York. Then, of course, Pat Travers' band, Vanilla Fudge and Nectar, to cap off the evening. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hope to see you all at the Chance in Poughkeepsie, New York. Tickets are available now. Get them. Come hang out with all of us. Everybody's going to be in attendance, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and we look forward to seeing you then. Till tomorrow, here on another episode of Back to School Month, our 30 favorite albums of our high school years. I am Pete Pardo. We'll see you tonight on the Hudson Valley Squares. Take care. Bye-bye.